Looks like he moved around a lot in this state. Born over here, went over there, come back over here. Oh, there's his rifle, Old Betsy. Wonder if he really killed a bar when he was only 3.
Kind of doubt it.
Davy Crockett, king of the wild frontier, born on a mountaintop in Tennessee, greenest state in the land of the free, raised in the woods so he knew every tree, killed him a bar when he was only 3.
Yeah, that didn't happen, but he was still the king of the wild frontier.
Hi, we're Jill and John Nelson, the Geezers, and it seems like we're always on the go. Episode, we're at David Crockett State Park in Lawrenceburg, Tennessee. The park was built on Crockett's old homestead site, where he also owned a distillery, a foundry, and a grist mill in the early 1800s. The campground features rivers, lakes, waterfalls, and of course a lot of history. It has 107 sites, most of them paved with water and electric. It also has a few cabins, some primitive tent sites, and a really nice restaurant. This is our campsite here at David Crockett State Park in Lawrenceburg, Tennessee. We're in campground number 2. We were supposed to be in number 1, but they got some flooding and they doing some renovations, so they moved us up to the other one that has better paved sites. This is site 96, and this has water and electric, as do just about every site here, and we're fairly convenient to the bathhouse over there, which has showers and regular bathrooms, and it's sort of a nice campground. Lots of woods, some odd sites with some, you're sort of at the edge of the cliffs here or the hills, so we'll take a little walk around and see what's what. This part of the campground was just recently renovated and is open all year round. There are 2 sections to this campground too. One goes down to where we are, just down that way. Their sites 61 through 97, so there's about a total of about 100 sites in this park. And then there's the other side that goes down this way. As you can see, all the sites are paved, which is a nice thing. They're fairly level. Some sort of hang over cliffs. And some have railings so that you don't go back too far. Another look at the sites. As you can see there, you do go off to the end. But nice, lots of nice trees. This fits all sizes. We have big rigs and tent campers and pop-ups, fifth wheels.
See, I got my David Crockett hat on.
Not Davy?
Well, not Davy and not the coonskin cap I wanted when I was a kid. But anyway, we learned a lot about Davy Crockett.
Yeah, we sure did.
Well, for one thing, he wasn't Davy Crockett. He was David. Nobody called him Davy until
Walt Disney, I guess,
Disney got a hold
famous
of him.
Wonderful World of Color.
I guess you have to call him Davy. If he had Mickey already, he needed
Davy too, so that's probably why.
But anyway, we did learn a lot about him, and
he was a pioneer.
A pioneer, a U.S. senator, a frontiersman, and an entrepreneur as well.
Right.
But so now we're going to go take a look at Shoal Creek, where the flood was that flooded us out, and the same river that flooded Davie out
Almost 100 years ago.
Yeah, almost exactly 200 years ago. So let's go take a look.
Let's go. And this is Little Shoal Creek, which David Crockett also had a distillery and a foundry on, and which also supposedly washed away some 100 and something years ago. But as you can see right now, all along here there are campsites which might be open in the near future, but the rangers are working on them. But it's very nice back here, nice and wooded. Nice along the creek. Any fish down there?
I don't know, it looks like there should be, but I don't see any.
Rangers working hard to fix this campground number 1. They're pulling something over there. I'm not sure what, but looks like they're pulling electric power lines. We would have been straight down, I think, at the end of this campground, which would have been a very nice site. Too bad we got flooded. A little closer look at Shoals Creek. And it does look like it'd be some good looking fish in here. The park is full of interesting water features. Besides Shoal Creek, there's also Crockett Falls. Not as big as some of the falls we've seen, but really very beautiful. Another section of Shoal Creek here at David Crockett State Park in Tennessee. This one they call Front Falls. It's man-made, obviously, but again, very picturesque. This is Lindsay Lake, part of David Crockett State Park. It's a fairly good-sized lake. It has bass, crappie, catfish, and something called shell crackers, and sunfish. You can take a little boat here, launch a boat, and I think they also have rentals. Nice little pier area. You could fish off the pier. Lindsay Lake. There was once a pool there at David Crockett State Park, but it's since been closed because of funding issues. But there is lots of other things to do besides use their swimming pool.
And lots of other places to swim too. But I want to backtrack a little bit here. We don't usually talk too much about how we got to where we were going. But this time we decided to take part of the Natchez Chase Trail, and
it's about 400 miles long.
Yeah, we only spent about 100 miles on the road itself, but it was a gorgeous drive. It was interesting.
Goes through 3 states.
Yeah, 3 states. Although you cut across the corner of Alabama, you right through Alabama real quick. But it's a very historic road. Thomas Jefferson commissioned the road when he was president. It was built as a logistics for the Army, so that they could keep the Mississippi Valley free of the French. And
I don't think it was quite nicely paved as it is now back then.
No, it was probably a little rougher.
Probably a dirt road.
Yeah, probably. But anyway, we're going to start off with that part of our trip.
We're here on the Natchez Trail right now into Mississippi. And this trail goes some 400 miles from where again, John?
From Nashville, Tennessee to Natchez, Mississippi, which is on the Mississippi. And it was built while Thomas Jefferson was president. And he ordered the road built to keep the French from taking control of the Mississippi River Valley.
We just got on this. We're in near Tupelo, Mississippi. And we're going to take it all the way up through Alabama and then into Tennessee to where we're going to our next destination was in Lawrenceburg, Tennessee. But there's supposed to be lots of different places along the road here. You can stop and see things and campgrounds. And here we go. Speed limit here along this road is it's 50 miles an hour the whole way, but it's sort of an easy road and it's no problem pulling the trailer. We've seen a couple other RVs and trailers coming down the road, and you're not going to make any big time going on this road, but it's nice and scenic. Lots of trees, open fields, some waterways, picnic areas. So just take your time and enjoy the view.
We hopped onto the parkway somewhere in the middle en route to David Crockett State Park. But if you wanted to make a day of exploring the trail, there are several tour maps online with points of interest and lots of info.
Welcome to Alabama.
Here we are at the Tennessee River along the Natchez Trail and Parkway, and we're presently in Alabama. There's a barge going down.
We're just about getting ready to turn off the Natchez Trail here in a few miles, and after having done about 100 miles of it, which is probably just about enough. It's not a difficult drive, but it's a two-lane road. It's turny. There's not much shoulder. You have to pay attention. So we'll be turning off and heading toward our next campground in Lawrenceburg, Tennessee. But we've enjoyed this trip down the Natchez Trail. It's a little different and a lot of fun. And there's a car
Got lots
passing.
of us to go right by us. Back at the campground, took in a few more sights, like an old covered bridge, and then we headed over to the Crockett Museum and finally a visit to the Trail of Tears. Wish it was open to have some cool things in there. Part of this David Crockett Museum along the creek here again is this big grist mill. Not working right now, but it looks as though the water would come down, turn the wheel, turn the grain into flour, and then you could make your bread. Part of the David Crockett Museum here, and there's a little aviary. You see different birds. This is a red-tailed hawk. I've seen quite a few of them in my lifetime. I got barn owls and barred owls. Nice little walkway, little signs. Museum at this time of the year is not open, only in summer, but at least there's something.
He's sitting on top of his barn.
Oh, is he? Where is he? There he is. There he is. Here at David Crockett State Park in Tennessee, it's part of the Trail of Tears way where they federal Indian removal policy. This was part of the trail that we also saw in Arkansas, on the Arkansas River, but this is the walking part of the trail where they made the Indians go to new territory and relocation. And from what I was told, David Crockett was very much opposed to this removal policy, and it's kind of ironic that it passed right through his property. And it starts here, I guess. It says from Fort Cass, Tennessee, all the way to Oklahoma. And walking along the route of the Trail of Tears that the Native Americans took. At that time probably was a lot more rugged than the well-worn path we see here along the road that takes you to the different campgrounds and different things here at David Crockett State Park. You can see lots of trees, and it probably was a lot more rugged back in those days. Crockett was long gone from this part of Tennessee when the Trail of Tears migration began in around 1830. By then, he was in the U.S. Senate. He'd moved on, and so must we. We thank you for joining us on our trip to David Crockett State Park. And as always, we hope to see you down the road. Stop, stop, stop!